Peach Boy Riverside was an anime that I had no expectations for going into it, just like almost every show this season, but the show has actually turned out quite good so far. The show has pretty good characters, an interesting world, and the story itself is also quite interesting. The series has played with this concept quite well and is made for a unique experience in the story. The concept itself is nothing special, but the way they handle everything is actually quite awesome. My favorite part of the show is definitely the characters. We have a pretty varied cast of characters, which makes for better experiences in this world, as well as we get to learn more about the world in general by seeing just what kind of people live in this world, which is cool. Honestly, this might be the most unique anime this season. From the outset, this series had me hooked. The first episode set up the world quite well and had a lot of good comedy elements as well as serious moments to make sure that the series stayed fresh at all times, which is cool. The series is actually great and is making me look forward to continuing the story as we keep moving forward because I have had a really good time with this series so far. I'm expecting quite a few people to look over the show just due to the fact that it sounds kind of generic, but it's actually quite the opposite, and I would love to see more people talking about the show moving forward. And from what I've seen so far, the manga is also great, and I will definitely be reading it after the anime finishes airing. And honestly, the concept of the series alone should just entice people to check out this series out because the concept is quite dumb but also sounds great at the same time. A spoiled princess running away and going on an adventure while also having to kill a bunch of monsters and accidentally being OP as hell is great. If you haven't decided to watch this show for whatever reason this season, then I would highly recommend that you do so, as this will be one of the better experiences you have this season, which is great. This season has been seen as pretty bad compared to the previous two seasons, but I would like to say that shows like this are what make the statements like that false, because although there aren't as many good shows in the forefront of conversation, it doesn't mean that there aren't there. You just have to look for them a little, which I know a lot of people don't like to do, which leads to the statements which are only somewhat true, but most of the time false. The characters in the series are great so far. I love how varied the cast is and how unique each of their personalities are as well. I can definitely say that this show is defined by its characters. There's such a varied cast and none of the cast feels stagnant in any way, which makes you like the characters a whole lot as well. Honestly, when I saw the poster and saw that dumb but adorable looking rabbit girl, I honestly didn't know what my first impression of the show and its characters would be. But right from episode 1, we have gotten to see just how amazing the characters are, especially the cute but dumb looking rabbit girl. Not just the rabbit girl either. I love that we have gotten to see the other two main characters in action and their backstory was quite interesting. I love how we have gotten to see the character interactions because they have definitely made the characters a lot better, which is cool. Honestly, the characters are what make this show, and you should check out the show strictly for the characters because they are amazing. The world in the series has been quite interesting. We haven't learned too much about the world overall, but it is still quite interesting so far. The biggest thing that I love is the people in the world and how they interact with our main characters because it allows us to see how the people of the world live, and that is cool. The people of this world are prejudiced towards demi-humans, and when they see the main characters traveling with one, it always ends badly. They get treated terribly by the people and they always end up having to prove that they are not bad people. But what I love the most about that is that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, which is pretty accurate to how real life works because some people may come around, but not everyone is as open-minded to things like that, and we get to see it. Besides just the people though, the setting of this world is also quite good. I love how the towns and cities in the series look, and I love the aesthetic of the people as well. It makes everything look cooler to see the world. It definitely takes heavy inspiration from old European architecture, which is awesome. This world is also quite an interesting power system, which we have slowly started to explore in more detail in these more recent episodes. We have our two main characters who seem to be by far the strongest people in the world, and even have the power to utterly destroy high-ranking ogres, which is insane. But we also recently saw something very interesting with a character we thought was a demi-human, but may now not be. I don't know. The world building in the series has been quite interesting so far, and it has gotten me to really want to see where this world is going to go by the end of the series. The animation in this series is pretty good. It isn't anything too insane, but it's still pretty good. Like, the animation looks pretty good in certain motions in the fights, and then sometimes it has that below average feel to it, which just makes the show feel mid sometimes. But the biggest thing that I love isn't the animation, but the art. The art in the series looks so good. I love the way the characters look, the backgrounds look really nice, and the world itself looks quite good. I just love the way this series looks, which is awesome. The series certainly has its problems, but the art is definitely not one of them, as this series looks clean as hell. The music in the series is pretty good. I love how the music sets scenes up very well, and I love how it fits the theme of the series. That just makes everything that much better in my opinion. The music in the series is good. I love the OP and the OSTs, and it really helps with the theming of the series as it gets dark and sinister, but also bright and cheery, which is great. And that allows for more amazing moments to be set up by the music alone, which is great. Music that can be used effectively is the best kind of music for a series, as it can help to get you in the right mood for a specific scene, and the music in the series is definitely used that effectively, which I love. Peach Boy Riverside is a series that I was surprised to see how good it was. Every episode we learn more information about the world and its characters, and that leads to a better experience. Everything the show has had to offer so far has been amazing, and I am looking forward to seeing where the show is going to go from here, as it has been so fun to watch so far. If you haven't watched the show yet this season, then I highly recommend that you do so, as you will not be disappointed when you do, as this show is really good.